Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you all for being here. What a wonderful night it is to see so many people, so many young people, so many older people, and so many in between. So it's going to be a great night. We'll begin the evening with the invocation by Deputy City Manager Loretta Getchell and Mayor Pro Tem Linda Islandell will lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, on this Veterans Day, we ask that you bless all the men and women that have served this great nation. May we not forget the many sacrifices they have made to allow us to live in a land of freedom and prosperity. We ask for your protection for those that are currently serving. Watch over them and protect them from harm and give them comfort as they serve. Be with their families during this time and give them strength and peace while their loved ones are answering the call to duty. We especially ask for your healing hand on those that have been wounded physically or emotionally. We ask that you give them comfort and strength as they try to regain their lives. Never let us forget the sacrifices these veterans and military personnel have made for us. We also pray that you protect our first responders as they put their lives on the line daily to protect this community. We pray for your blessings on this meeting tonight. May all the deliberations and actions be pleasing to you and in the best interest of the citizens of Euless. We thank you for this great city and all of our many blessings. I pray all these things in your name. Amen.
Please join me as we pledge allegiance to the United States of America, the flag it always represents. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As we all know, it is Veterans Day, a very, very important day in our history. And I don't know how many of you know that the treaty was initially signed it was declared Armistice Day. And I'm old enough to remember when it was Armistice Day. And it was signed on the 11th hour of the 11th month, and that's the reason it takes place on November 11th. However, and it was to commemorate all the veterans of World War I, the war to end all wars. In 1938, they changed it to celebrate the veterans of World War I and World War II. In 1954, President Eisenhower amended that treaty, and it was at that point that it became a celebration of all veterans of all wars. And that's what we celebrate today and here on in. At this time, I would like to ask all veterans to please stand and be recognized so we may thank you. And we're now going to have a short video tribute to Veterans Day. full of gratitude to all of our veterans here. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Next, we'll go on to the presentation of our employee service pins, which is a fun thing in our night. And we will begin with the 5-year pin for Dan Walden. Stand here. Dan, please come down here with all your family and friends. And I'll ask Ms. Glenda to come forward. And also a 10-year pin for Hal Sinclair. And Hal, if you would come with all of your family, and Mr. Crane will come forward. You can go.
Dan, I'll let you in. I'll let you introduce your family.
Yeah, my name's Dan Walden. I'm the head golf professional over at Texas Star. Like I said, I've been here for 5 years. This is my oldest son, Parker. My 8-year-old Caleb. And my little sweetie, Abby. She's 5. Just started kindergarten. And my wife is working at a mission home right now, so she can't be here.
We were very fortunate to, let me just pretend. We were very fortunate to get Dan. Dan came to us from Four Seasons, which is over in Irving and a very well-respected golf course. So when Dan came to us, he brought many of the talents that we hadn't had before, and one of those was in our pro shop to get it organized and our inventory control. Dan has received Merchandiser of the Year a couple of times from the North Texas PGA and also from the local Metroplex North Texas area. So he has done well in that, and not only in that, he has also brought lessons and clinics to our organization that we didn't have before. We actually have more of an active clinics than with youth and with women than we did before. So we are very fortunate to have had him bring that to us. Dan not only is a wonderful worker with us, but he also works in his community. He's very active in his church and with his children and the activities that they are in. So we have been very fortunate to have him for 5 years, and we hope to have him for 5+ more years.
Yes, ma'am. I had the privilege of introducing my namesake. It was nice when I got here, finally found somebody with the same name I had. Hal's been with the city 10 years, but he grew up in Odessa, and then somewhere in the high school years, he actually moved this way and actually graduated from Halton High. And so then he went to work and finally he went to work in North Richland Hills for a year in public works, but saw the light and came over here. And he's been here for 10 years. Hal is one of these guys that can do anything that we ask him to do. He works mainly in our streets side of the house and can run any of the equipment that we have. But the nice thing about Hal is that he's a team player. And he will do anything and work anywhere that we want him to do work. And and that's what, in our group, we have to be very close and do a lot of things, and he's the epitome of a great public works employee. He likes camping and fishing and Mustangs, and he play racquetball. I used to too. I was going to say, maybe you and I could play.
Right.
And it just went back and forth to each other. Okay. But again, Dan, sorry, Dan. Hal's been with us and has done a great job for the city, and I appreciate it and hope to stay a long time. Thank you, sir. Did you introduce your... That's right. I said he was going to do that first, didn't I? I let you out. Why don't you introduce, what's her name?
Amanda.
Amanda, thank you for coming with me.
Best friend and his dad, Bill.
Oh, you should have come down.
Moment.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, have your pin down here. Keep that closed. And there's the little,
Thank you.
everybody's pin. Next, I will ask Alicia Johnson and David Cheney to come on down. Alicia will be receiving her 15-year pin, and David will be receiving his 20-year pin. All of your friends and family, co-workers, everybody, and she's round the table.
Well, we'll go with Officer David Cheney. David, would you introduce your wife?
This is my wife Amanda and my 11-year-old son Mitchell.
Spitting images. Okay, Dave came with us 20 years ago and started out as a PSO in the jail, public service officer. That didn't quite fill his need. He had a greater desire to serve, so he moved up to administration, became an administrative assistant up in administration, helping with computer issues and crime stats and things like that, but still that wasn't enough. 2007, he tested, became a police officer, and moved from public service officer, administrative assistant, to now he is a patrol officer. 2011, he promoted to senior police officer, and just what a great legacy of service you've had for the last 20 years. Thank your wife and son for sharing you with us for this time. Hope we've got many more to go, but just kind of tell you some of the great things that he's done in his career. 1997, he was nominated for the Bill Harville Award. 1999, again, nominated for the Bill Harville Award. Year 2000 received the Distinguished Service Award for Civilian. 2001, Civilian of the Year. 2004, nominated for Distinguished Service. In 2012, nominated for Officer of the Year. Those nominations come from the people he serves with. They don't come from me. They don't come from the supervisory staff or command staff. Those are nominations that come from the people that serve right there next to it. And this shows you the kind of servant he is. He comes in every day, does a great job, got a great smile on his face, and has a true passion for being a police officer, has a true passion for serving the citizens of Euless and the Euless Police Department. And he's done 20 years, and I say, let's do another 20, and we'll go out and get it.
Wonderful. Miss Alicia Johnson just got here. Come on down, Alicia.
Yeah. Mentioned the point out that she's fast as the lamp. Thank you.
We're glad you got here when you start, and I hope you start, we're glad you're here.
I want to introduce Alicia Johnson. What a great person. Look at this smile. How could you not work with her and not be in a good mood? Alicia came to work for us in 1999. She's been in the jail ever since. One of these days you'll get out. But she came to us in 1999. In 2007, she promoted to a lead position as a public service officer. And for those of you who don't know what they do, they're the ones that when we arrest someone, we bring them in, the officers bring them in, turn them over to our PSOs, and it's up to public service officers to look them in, get them in the system, get them housed in the jail, and then make sure that they're taken care of, and then released properly, and all the paperwork's filed. What we want people to understand is when they come into jail, and Alicia's the one that kind of trains back there, is just because you've been arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. You're not guilty until a judge says you're guilty. So you're just an American citizen, and you're in jail, and you're treated with dignity and respect. And Alicia ensures that happens because she won't have it any other way. 2001, we were nominated. You were nominated for the Bill Harville Award. 2004, the Black Sister Award. You won it. 2004, didn't you? Nominated again 2005 for the Black Sister Award. Nominated for the Civilian of the Year Award in 2007. 2010 received the Distinguished Service Award, and then 2012 nominated for the Civilian of the Year. Every year, just about. With the way that she serves and the way that she not only serves the community but serves her fellow employees there in the police department, she just sets the standard for the way that jail and the way that we conduct our business inside the police department and outside the police department. She leads in every direction, up, down, sideways. There's times she'll come and get on to me. So she's not afraid to raise her hand if she sees something that's not right and kind of change it and make it better. So 15 years, let's do 35 more.
Tonight is one of those really fun, great nights, and it's truly a night of celebration. We've celebrated so many people and things already, and now we can move on with the celebration. October is Fire Prevention Month, and as many of you know, our fire clowns go out to all the elementary schools and do programs. And the kids are then tasked with drawing a poster that best signifies what they got out of the message from the firefighters. And tonight we have the grand prize winners from 1st through 6th grade. And we are going, and I know we have several principals here. I'm going to ask, before we call the kids down, if all the principals would stand up so we can thank you for being here. And now I'll ask Chief Smith to read the names and have the kids come down.
What I would like to ask, just to kind of expedite this, is if the students and whoever is going to come up with it, the parents, teachers, principal, whoever's going to come down with them, if y'all will line up to my right here, starting with the first grade students at the bottom, kind of working up that Walter to the top of the 6th grade. We can kind of expedite this a little bit. Those of y'all that aren't familiar with this program, the mayor kind of highlighted it, but during Fire Prevention Month, or Fire Prevention Week in particular, we have a time group that visits all the schools. They do specific lessons to the 5,000 plus students that attend, and from those lessons, we ask the students to submit posters. We have people that go in and judge the posters to find what is determined to be the best poster in each classroom, in each grade level, in each school. And then those winning posters are brought to fire administration where they're judged again to find the single best poster represented from all of the schools in Euless per grade level. And the students we're going to recognize tonight are the winners of that program. And what we'll do, I'd like to ask everyone to hold their applause until the end. But as I call each student, you will come across, see Fire Chief Rhodes and the mayor. They will get you taken care of, and then Chief Steve is at the other end there, and he will kind of get you held together. So you need to wait until we get everyone all taken in, and we'll dismiss after that. So the first grade winner is Brendan Fox from Ms. Lindsay's class at Bearfield Elementary. Mrs. Moose, and she's hiding up there in the Rawlinson from Lakewood Elementary for Mrs. Brazil's class, and Ms. McAvoy is the principal.
I know this little man too. Congratulations.
Our third grade winner is Kristen Coughlin from Ms. Chapman's class at South Euless Elementary. The sculpture is Our fourth grade winner is Paula Medge from Midway Park Elementary. Teacher is Mrs. Winston. Our fifth grade winner is Holly Philop from South Euless Elementary. Teacher is Mrs. Corral. Principal is Mr. Stone. And last, but certainly not least, is Jasmine Smith from Mrs. Gibbons' class at Oakwood Terrace Elementary. Ms. Rhodes is principal. And I'd just like to say on behalf of the fire department and the city, we're really proud of what the students have done. The posters, have been converted to lithographs that will be actually on display in the fire administration lobby over the next year. And if y'all would, please join me in a round of applause for for just that part. You're dismissed into the lobby when we photograph and get the kids back to the gift bag and all of that. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, Chief Smith. Well, at some point in time, the celebrating does have to come to an end, and we need to get down to business. So next, we'll talk about the consent agenda items, and I'll ask Ms. Gitchell to address them.
Mayor and council, item number 3 is to consider authorizing the purchase of 3 heart monitor defibrillators from Vizio Control. These are carried on all of our ambulances and fire trucks and our critical medical devices that are used to restore normal heartbeat. This is the sole source vendor, and the estimated cost is $118,163.20, which is within budget. Item number 4 is to consider authorizing the purchase of grounds maintenance equipment for Texas Star Golf Course through by-board cooperative purchasing contract. The recommended vendor is Professional Turf Products of Euless. This includes 7 pieces of ground maintenance equipment at a cost of $256,773.23, which is within budget and is part of the fiscal year 2015 replacement schedule. Item number 5 is to consider authorizing the purchase of an asset inspection camera and related equipment for wastewater collection system pipeline video inspection through HGAC. The recommended vendor is Green Equipment Company. This equipment is used to determine the condition and identify issues in the wastewater pipeline. The cost is $80,938.22, and that is also within budget. Item number 6 is to consider approval of the City Council minutes of the October 28th regular meeting.
Council, any comments or questions?
Mayor, I would move approval.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A motion was made by Councilmember Senniford and seconded by Councilmember Bynum. Please cast your votes. The motion passes. Item number 7 is to consider resolution number 14-1448, dedicating the statement of the City Hall Campus Drive in honor and memory of Officer Michael R. Williamson. And I will ask Chief Brown to say a few words.
Council, I'd like to read the resolution.
Thank you.
Resolution 1448, resolution City Council of the City of Euless, Texas, dedicating the Officer Michael R. Williamson Memorial Drive in his memory. Whereas Officer Michael Williamson, August 17, 1981, and faithfully served the citizens of this community, and whereas on November 28, 1982, Officer Williamson was the first U.S. police officer to be killed in the line of duty when his patrol car was struck by a drunk driver while he was on patrol, and whereas Officer Williamson left behind his beloved wife, Becky Williamson, their 6 cherished young children, Michael, Suzanne, Stephanie, Timothy, Melissa, and Christopher, and whereas, lest we never forget that Officer Williamson served this community with the ultimate sacrifice of his life, and whereas we approach the 32nd anniversary of Officer Williamson's end of watch, City Council desires to recognize and honor the memory of Officer Williamson for his dedication and service to the people of this community through the dedication of the Officer Michael R. Williamson Memorial Drive, and whereas this designation serves as a perpetual reminder of the sacrifice the Williamson family endured. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council, the City of Euless, Texas, that the members of the City Council recognize and honor Officer Michael Williamson for his dedication and service to the people of this community through the dedication of the Officer Michael R. Williamson Memorial Drive.
Thank you. And would you like to introduce some of the Williamson family that's
I
present?
believe they're all standing here. Ron, would you want to have them stand up and introduce the whole family?
Sure. Okay. We'll start with Becky. She's sitting here. Stephanie, her husband, Becky's husband had an arm, and then I got my daughter and my wife.
Is your mom?
Oh, and my mom. Sure.
Now, Ron, tell us how many children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren your mom has.
She will have to answer that question. I do not know.
She can tell us, and she can tell us the birthday of every one of them also.
The exact name and birthdays of everyone.
We had 5 children. We've lost our 2 youngest. We have 29 grandchildren, and we have lost 2 grandchildren. We have 77 great-grandchildren, and we have lost 3 great-grandchildren. And we have 2 great-great-grandchildren.
Is that not an amazing family? Council, what's your pleasure?
Mayor, it will be my honor to move for approval.
Thank you.
I promise second.
Thank you. The motion was made by Mayor Pro Tem Eilenfeld and seconded by Councilmember Tompkins. Please cast your votes. The motion passes resoundingly. Your family means so much to me personally and to the city. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, On Wednesday, November 26th, we'll have a very short dedication ceremony that will begin at the memorial in front of the Fire Administration Building at 10 a.m., and then we will unveil the signs. So if you are able, we would love to see you here at the ceremony. Thank you. Item number 8 is to consider extension of the contract for our municipal court judge, Lacey Britton, and I'll ask council what's your pleasure.
Mayor, I would move approval.
Thank you. The motion was made by Councilmember Senniford and seconded by Councilmember Price. Please cast your votes. The motion passes. Item number 9 is to consider board and commission appointments for the Euless Development Corporation, the Crime Control and Prevention District, and Historical Preservation Committee Board Chair and Vice Chair. Council, what's your pleasure?
Mayor, I'd like to nominate for the Euless Development Corporation, place number 4, Linda Ironfeld. For the Crime Control and Prevention District, Eddie Price. And the Historical Preservation Committee, Chairwoman being Barbara Collier, and the Vice Chairwoman being Mary Wright.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. The motion was made by Councilmember Tompkins and seconded by Councilmember Senniford. Please cast your votes. The motion passes, and I know Mrs. Barbara Collier is here, and if I, Barbara, you could just stand up and wave. We want to thank you for all the hard work you have already done for historical preservation, and that we know you'll be a wonderful leader. Thank you. Now is the time for public comments. If anyone would like to come up and make a public comment. We did have a request from Mr. Bob Connell, but I don't believe he is here tonight. So any further public comments? Yes, Mr. Easton.
My name's Darrell A. 71005 Fayette Drive, Euless, Texas. Last week, on Tuesday, was our general election day for the statewide officials and so forth. And I was the election judge at the Euless Library for precinct 3036, which is dedicated to just the voters of 3036. But there's always confusion amongst our voters throughout Euless and throughout the county, as a matter of fact. While we had about almost 280 voters from 3036, we probably had near 1,000 voters come in that we had to redirect to another location. And we do that by looking up their voter record and so forth. I think we did a good job. The city secretary's office put out a notice on the website linking to the county website as to where they could look up where they needed to vote. But many of them failed to do that, obviously. And I do want to thank Kim Slater, city secretary. She came over about 5 during the 5 o'clock rush, and she stayed till 7 to help redirect these voters. We sometimes had 15 people in line that we knew couldn't vote at the Euless Library. So it was very helpful for the city secretary to be there. And I want to publicly thank her for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your kind comments, and thank you, Ms. Sutter, for all that you do for us. Are there any other public comments? At this time, I'll go to council reports. Council, does anyone have any reports?
Mayor, I can't let it go by without making a quick comment. I mentioned this in pre-council, and I'll mention it again here in our council chambers. Veterans Day is an awesome day for what it represents. But personally, it's a personal day for me as my father served in World War II. We have a great congressman. We get Congressman Marchant, we get staff, John and Matt. My father served under Patton's command. My father never received his medals. Several years back, I started talking to their staff, and Matt and John, he's a retired colonel in the military. And Congressman March's staff has researched and taken care of over 158 of our servicemen and women finding their medals that they do not receive when they left service. We received my father's medals on Saturday. It was an awesome event, but publicly I just needed to make it very clear that we do have elected officials that will go above and beyond to take care of the people who serve our country.
Thank you for sharing that. Any other council reports? Do we have a report from our city attorney? Mr. McKinney?
Just a quick comment, Mr. Mayor, on the ladies and families, appreciate you being here. My youngest son, Chris, is a firefighter for us, and he does a great job and minds us all a great deal of mine. One other thing, though, that is often in our conditions and sometimes overlooked, one of my most memorable country western songs, I like country western music. One of my most memorable country western songs is Dad, I Didn't Have to Pay You. And my son has 2 stepchildren, and he's the dad, he didn't have to pay. Well, Don Waddle back there, sitting by Becky, became the dad of 6 children that he didn't have to pay. And I don't know all those 6 children well, but know Chris, and that family has been richly blessed by not only the heritage that the Mrs. Williamson and all the family provided, but Don Waddle, who used to be a police officer here, is the dad that he didn't have to be. He obviously has done a great job. So, Don, I have something to do.
Thank you. Well, we have one major thing to announce this evening, as we have an election on December 9th. It's a special election to fill the seat vacated by Glenn Porterfield, who passed away a few months back. Early voting begins November 24th through 26th and December 1st through the 5th. The times do vary, so I ask that you check the website for the specific times, and please be sure to get out and vote. We do have 2 of the 3 candidates in the room this evening. I would like to ask that you stand and step forward, Mr. Easton. Mr. Darrell Easton is a candidate, and Mr. Harry Zimmer. So don't forget, voting is it's your right, but it's also your duty. So please be sure and vote. Thank you. Have a safe trip home. And again, thank you for being here this evening. The meeting is adjourned.